Right now at noon, funding concerns threaten the future of a Southeast Kansas transportation service.
And we've got clear skies, a beautiful day out there. We're going to have a look at your forecast and how long the warm weather is going to last coming up.
Plus, some may choose to celebrate the big game this weekend with a couple of drinks. What law enforcement wants you to know before you get behind the wheel.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Intense video shows a large, fully involved house fire in Cherryville, Kansas. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. The fire broke out Wednesday night. Independence Fire assisted local crews with an engine and 3 personnel. There were no injuries, and the Kansas State Fire Marshal's office is assisting with the investigation. Now we're going to check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, and we are starting actually with our Westco camera at 7th and Range Line looking back to the west. So folks have probably noticed this. There's a large structure fire on Black Cat Road. We first noticed it actually on the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line. The smoke has actually trailed back a bit. Our very own Shannon Becker is on the scene, and of course we'll bring you updates as they come in, but certainly want to avoid that. But definitely a substantial fire to be visible from so far away given where it's located. Pittsburgh camera downtown. Looks fantastic. Skies are clear overhead. And then the MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line. This is where we actually first noticed that smoke there off in the distance. So that's pretty far distant being out on North Black Cat. So again, Shannon Becker's on scene. He'll keep you updated. And in the meantime, though, another just beautiful day out there. And look at the numbers from yesterday. Started right where we should. 62 is where we made it. And we're getting close to record high levels out there once again across the region. Already warming up nicely. We are into the upper 50s and low 60s. So beating expectations for some of the highs out there already. And our temperatures this afternoon are 10 to 15 degrees about above where they were 24 hours ago. We're going to stay pretty mild through the evening, but with clear skies, we're going to see temperatures drop. And we will be a little colder tonight. We're down to the upper 30s by 11. We're looking at about 30 overnight tonight. We're going to have another look at your forecast, talk about this warm weather and next week's rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Crawford County may hit the brakes on public transportation. KOAM's Ty Park spoke with SEK CAP officials about the funding issue.
Southeast Kansas Community Action Program has provided general transportation rides to Crawford County for years for people like Geneva Gary.
It is very important because I don't have a car and I can't get around without the PAC bus.
Funding for the transportation is paid 70% from state and federal funding, and the remaining 30% is made up from donation, says the transportation director, Scott Christensen.
The matching funds that we received have gotten us this far, and without additional matching funds to cover the gap to get to June 30th, we'll have to suspend services.
The amount needed is $144,000 to get them to June 30th. All the money pledged to the ride service will be exhausted by February 13th. Riders are making plans in case the rides stop.
Yeah, I walk or I get friends to take me.
Chief Executive Director James Whitney says these buses are needed to get people to their doctor's appointment as well as other important places.
Is that they bring money into the community. It isn't just low-income people using a service and not contributing to anything. These people are coming here to do their business, and it's a very vital service that we provide. Not only does it bring people to the service, but then it also brings that money to the community. So, and not only that, the services that we operate within that county and within those communities, we do all our maintenance work there, we buy the fuel there.
In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Connect to Culture visited with several state representatives in Jefferson City this week to advocate for Missouri arts funding. The Missouri Arts Council is funded through a specific withholding tax called Missouri Non-Resident Athletes and Entertainers Tax. This is a 2% tax withholding for outside performers.
We were advocating for more than a dozen area organizations in Joplin, in Neosho, in Carthage, in Carl Junction that they also receive funding from the Missouri Arts Council, so they would also feel that huge impact of just the loss of that funding.
The Missouri Arts Council was appropriated $10.1 million this year. The governor is requesting to cut that down by 40%. Connect to Culture says that would be detrimental for all arts in Missouri. Joplin will soon join the international community thanks to its bike park. Joplin's Momentum Bike Park joins cycling communities around the world, including Sydney, Australia, Valence, France, Sheffield, England, and Yantai City, China, as host for the 2026 Velo Solutions UCI Pump Track Qualifier events. Pump Track is a fast-paced head-to-head race which requires riders to navigate the track without pedaling. Joplin will serve as only one of 4 U.S. communities to host these events. Qualifiers take place in Joplin August 15th and 16th. Well, early voting is underway for the Miami school bond election. The Miami Public School District is asking voters to approve a $15.7 million bond issue for safety improvements and facility upgrades. The bond would build a new lower elementary school at the current Will Rogers Middle School site, make significant upgrades to Nichols Upper Elementary, and renovate the Miami Innovation Center. There would be no projected tax increase. Voters can go to the community room at the courthouse annex again today to vote from 8 a.m. until now 6 p.m. Election day is next Tuesday. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, Super Bowl Sunday typically sees a rise in DUI arrests, with drivers getting behind the wheel after drinking too much. KOAM's Kenny Foreman spoke with a couple of local law enforcement officers to find out what they'll be monitoring and what drivers should keep in mind.
The Chiefs might not be participating this year, but that's likely not going to deter many folks from throughout the 4 states from enjoying their Super Bowl parties and perhaps having a few drinks. This, of course, is prompting many local law enforcement departments to be on high alert for potential drunk drivers.
We're always out patrolling, always looking for impaired drivers, so we're watching for minor traffic violations to kind of give us clues if they're impaired, and we make our traffic stops from that and kind of go and judge impairment after that.
The common consensus here: know who's taking you home, or simply don't drink if you know you're going to be driving.
You have a game plan. You can either have a designated driver, call an Uber or a taxi, but before you go, have a game plan. If you feel like you're too inebriated to drive, you more than likely are.
Assistant Chief Stever also encourages pedestrians to be on high alert as well.
Just use the sidewalks. I would say, don't walk out the middle of the roadway if you can. If you're a pedestrian, use your designated sidewalks. You're always safer using a sidewalk versus walking out on the street.
As Patrol Lieutenant Miller sums up, it only takes one poor decision to lead to tragic repercussions.
The consequences obviously are jail time, paying fines, losing your license, but on the severe end, like, you could take somebody's life. An innocent person could lose their life from a decision that you make while you're drinking. So we also want to avoid any of those consequences.
Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Well, coming up, the U.S. and Iran are engaged in diplomatic talks over Iran's nuclear program. This comes as a nuclear treaty with Russia has expired. And later, we're making a batch of fried mac and cheese balls in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The U.S. and Iran are holding indirect talks today in an effort to de-escalate tensions over Iran's nuclear program. It comes amid a U.S. military buildup in the region and fears by Arab nations that an attack could spark a regional war. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner met with Oman's foreign minister Friday, who's mediating talks between the U.S. and Iran over its nuclear program.
The president has obviously been quite clear in his demands of the Iranian regime. Zero nuclear capability is something he's been very explicit about, and he wants to see if a deal can be struck.
Iran's foreign minister says talks are expected to continue. Alex Vatenka of the Middle East Institute says it's unclear where they lead.
It's very unpredictable. I don't see the U.S. side or the Iranian side really softening their respective red lines.
For more than a month, President Trump has been threatening to strike Iran, moving additional assets to the region, including the Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Group, which includes guided missile destroyers. Earlier this week, the U.S. shot down a drone it says was aggressively approaching the Lincoln.
I would remind the Iranian regime that the president has many options at his disposal, aside from diplomacy, as the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of the world.
The indirect talks with Iran are happening as the president also says he wants to negotiate a new arms control treaty with Russia after the 15-year-old New START agreement limiting nuclear weapons expired Thursday.
The president's been pretty clear that He wants a better agreement.
Experts say China is believed to have the fastest growing nuclear arsenal among the 9 nuclear-armed nations.
Exactly 0 Chinese nuclear weapons were covered by New START.
Lawmakers say the president must move urgently to negotiate a new treaty, and that failing to do so will send a terrible signal to Russia and China. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
There's a lot of excitement going on as both teams are getting ready for the big game. There's also a lot of excitement going on right here in the test kitchen, so don't go anywhere.
And we've got that warm weather going to continue for a while, at least with some above average temperatures. We'll talk about that and next week's rain chances when we come back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Absolutely beautiful day across the area. A nice day out there, clear skies, temperatures warming up, but we're also keeping an eye on a fire that's taking place on the west side of the city. So this is our Westco camera at 7th and Rangeline. We're going to show you that all full here. The smoke has certainly improved, but we've got our very own Shannon Becker is on the scene. He'll have updates as they come in, but it's a commercial structure, Black Cat Trucking, not necessarily maybe their primary facility, but a building in that area that is what's on fire right now. So he'll have updates on that. We'll keep you updated on KOAM News as well. As for the rest of us, clear skies, beautiful conditions, an absolutely wonderful day out there. And it's going to continue to stay that way. We have those gusty north winds, and that's the only trade-off. Just like yesterday where all this warmer weather began. Our trade-off was gusty southwest winds. And honestly, I think it's a fair price to pay considering how nice everything is. We're putting the future track down the road. We're clear through the late evening hours. It's overnight that will start to go partly cloudy. We'll have a few clouds start our Saturday, but because we're going to be clear through the late evening and only partly cloudy overnight, we don't have that thermal blanket or the cloud cover essentially to keep some of the warmer air in. So we'll actually be a little colder tonight than where we were last night. See, now I've done it again. At least once a week. I forget to turn my microphone back on at some point, and I press the wrong button on here. So let's go further into Saturday beyond 5 a.m. We're going to have, again, some partly cloudy skies. There may be brief moments of mostly cloudy, depending on where you are, but in general, partly cloudy skies, and winds will begin to shift out of the south for us as we head through the afternoon on Saturday at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Skies clear out overnight Saturday into Sunday, but Sunday, the first half of the day, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies out there. And then these skies will clear again by late Sunday heading into Monday. And so what's happened, at least right now, the new data today from this morning is that our rain chances next week, that whole system has slowed a bit. And so it's all kind of a day behind. So the clouds we were expecting for Sunday have moved to Monday. So remember we said Sunday it would get mostly cloudy late in the day ahead of the rain on Monday. Well, now everything's a day late. It's going to be mostly cloudy late in the day on Monday ahead of those rain chances that are now set in for Tuesday. For the rest of today, we're already starting to exceed that in some areas, but upper 50s, low 60s, and we discussed that this morning. Low 60s were not out of the question, and we are warm out there for this time of year. And you saw the data earlier, a record high of 69 yesterday, and we were just a few degrees shy of reaching that yesterday. So over the next couple of 3 days, especially in the Monday, we could be reaching record levels out there. North winds gusting to 25. Late evening overnight, they'll transition out of the northeast at 5 to 10. Get a little colder tonight, back around 30. And then as we head into tomorrow, upper 50s, low 60s once again. South breeze by the afternoon at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll go into the mid 60s, mid and upper 60s Sunday, and this is what I was talking about with Monday for sure. We could be breaking some records in spots if we get that much warming done before the clouds settle in, going into the low 70s. Then our rain chances start building Tuesday through Friday. Not great rain chances. Hopefully they increase because we certainly could use some rain. We're above normal through Thursday, a little below normal Friday. Valentine's Day, yeah, it's chilly, but it's seasonably cool. And based on the last couple of weeks, it could be a lot worse. So we're going to go upper 40s. We're looking at mid 50s by next Sunday. So some really nice weather in between, at least some rain chances. Valentine's Day, not a complete loss, just a little chilly out.
Well, those temperatures we have coming up sound great, Chris.
They do.
Thank you so much. Stick around. We're making mac and cheese balls in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard shows us how to make his fried mac and cheese balls in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Whether you're a fan of football or not, it seems like everyone loves some part of this weekend's big game. For some, obviously it's the game itself, while others insist the commercials and halftime are the best part. But the one thing that everyone agrees on, there needs to be lots of food. So what do you say I show you what we'll be making this weekend? We start out by thawing a package of our favorite frozen mac and cheese. Now, using a small ice cream scoop or a soup spoon, we form it into 1-inch balls. These go onto a baking sheet that's lined with wax paper. This way they won't stick, and into the freezer they go. Once they're hard, we dip them in a beaten egg mixed with a bit of water, and then into some seasoned Italian breadcrumbs. After they're breaded, we fry them until they're crispy on the outside, and the center is oozing with all that cheesy goodness. You can even make these ahead and simply reheat them at game day. The recipe for our fried mac and cheese balls is in our Just One More Bite cookbook, or you can find it online. This way, you'll have it just in time for the big game. I'm Howard with Kelly and Patty in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where we're gearing up for a Super Sunday filled with lots of, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, we're warming already, upper 50s, low 60s, continuing through the weekend. Warming even more so Sunday and Monday, could be reaching record high levels, or at least getting very close to. We got those rain chances Tuesday through Friday, above average through Thursday, a little below normal Friday. Valentine's Day, it's colder, yes, but it's seasonably cool, upper 40s out there, and at least dry, clearing out, and get out there and celebrate if you're celebrating. And if you're not, that's perfectly fine too. It's going to be okay.
Going to be a beautiful weekend regardless.
Certainly so.
Well, thanks, Chris. Coming up tonight at 5. Today is this year's National Wear Red Day. Cardiovascular disease remains the #1 killer of women in the United States. Experts say heart disease is preventable, so we're looking at the risk and warning signs you need to know. Plus, the majority of smartphones sold in 2026 can last a day on a single charge, but even that isn't enough for many people who constantly scroll online. We'll have the tips for longer phone life. And we get a look at the grand reopening of the Joplin History and Mineral Museum. Join us for those stories and a whole lot more on KOAM News at 5. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.